Time to elevate. You're running on empty with Matt and Tony.
I guess maybe something a little bit lighter is the Major League Baseball Lockout. I don't know about you, but I've been like a huge baseball fan my entire life.
I've been a baseball fan, first of all, because I like baseball. Second of all, because a couple teams paid us really well to do events with them. So
right, exactly.
Yeah.
You used to work with the Texas Rangers, right?
Yeah, 17 years with the Texas Rangers, and then COVID happened and kind of rained on our parade. It'll eventually come back, but
how much money did you help them raise over the years?
Gosh, I don't know just for the Rangers out the top of my head, but I know globally all the different fundraisers we've done, we've helped raise over $100 million.
Amazing.
You know, I like an average night for a Texas Rangers event. I mean, they could raise easily over $1 million in one night from one of these events. You know, we've done stuff for them, the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute, all these things, but baseball, there's a lot of money behind the scenes and in front of the scenes. And that's why
the collective bargaining agreement, you know, the Major League Baseball Players Association is a fairly strong union, and the collective bargaining agreement ended. The owners locked out the players, I think in December, and then really did nothing to negotiate any settlement for a long time. And what I find really interesting this time, Matt, is it's, now, for all we know, I mean, this is a very fluid situation, right? They could reach an agreement as we're speaking right now, right?
Yeah.
But it's looking like a significant amount of the players are willing to give up an entire season over this, right? There are some issues, and what I keep hearing the players saying is they don't want to make the same mistake that was made in the 1990s, where they felt that the players made an agreement but they weren't thinking far enough into the future.
Sure.
And so what I hear a lot of these players saying is, we're worried about the players that come after us.
Right.
And we know that there's what always has burned me up, Matt, is when baseball talks about, the baseball players make it sound like every team is the New York Yankees or the Los Angeles Dodgers, right? But so many of these teams are small market. You know what? There is no such freaking thing as a small market team, right?
No.
All these teams are owned by oligarchs.
There you go.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's be honest about it.
Yeah.
And baseball has monopoly power, which gives them incredible leverage in negotiations. And the players, to their credit, have gotten wise to this.
Yeah.
You guys are sitting on billions of dollars. How many teams just flat out tank? They tank their season just to enhance their bottom line.
Yeah.
Right. And so there's got to be some. Now, I'm not really sure I can really explain or understand all the changes the players are asking for. And obviously, obviously for the average guy on the street, when they say that the players want a $700,000 a year minimum salary.
Yeah.
Right. The average guy in the street is saying, well, hell, I'll never make that kind of money.
Right.
Right.
Not even collectively.
Yeah. But, there are some things to keep in mind, right? Number one, you're not going to be a baseball player your entire life.
No.
Right. Most of these guys are out of the league by the time they're 35. Right. So it's not like you're making that money until you reach Social Security age. Right.
Right.
That's not going on. The other thing that's been hidden in all of this, and I find it really reprehensible, minor league baseball players are some of the most exploited workers in this country. I don't even know if the condition of the minor leaguers has anything to do with these negotiations.
I have no idea on that.
But they're going to be continued. They're going to continue to be treated like crap. Right. And what Major League Baseball does in Latin America, which is basically invisible in this country, is also shameful.
Yeah.
They start getting these kids to play at the age of 10, 11, and 12, take them out of school, only a small percentage of these kids will ever make it over to the United States to play baseball.
Oh, sure.
Right. Meanwhile, they're not getting education. There's high levels of poverty. So we're basically exploiting, right, mostly young males in several countries to produce baseball players for the United States. Right. One of the reasons why, you remember the late Hugo Chavez, one of the president of Venezuela, who the Republicans still think controlled the 2020 election, even though he'd been dead 5 years. Right. But one of the reasons why the U.S. government hated him was because he was threatening to shut down the American baseball academies. Right. We have major league teams get players out of Venezuela.
Yeah.
And so on. So, I mean, look, I know that there are some players that I'm sure are greedy and selfish, but we still have not gotten a good look at these owners.
No.
And we know that because they have monopoly power, that gives them a tremendous advantage in negotiations.
It sounds like they're going to be able to wear branded advertising.
Oh, that's
now.
right. That's right. This is interesting. This actually started in baseball last year when the umpires were wearing an advertising logo on their uniforms.
Yeah.
I can't remember which company it was. So the precedent has been set, and I believe that if and when baseball starts in 2022, for the first time in the history of the league, the players are going to have advertising on their jerseys. Now, it probably won't start off as extensive as like what you see in NASCAR.
I hope not.
But I mean, think of it from the owner's perspective, right? For them, it's like, this is a way of getting more money.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and if you look at NASCAR, I mean, I don't think there's actually anything holding those cars together other than the stickers on. Never mind. There's so many stickers on there. You can't actually see the car. I don't necessarily, I mean, I made a post about this the other day. I actually pay extra money for things like YouTube with no commercials and Hulu with no commercials because I don't like advertising. It doesn't necessarily work on me. It'll work on me if it's something I'm interested in, but because of all the AI and crap out there, it's going to be a lot of stuff I'm interested in. So I don't want to see it. One of the reasons I don't, my dad was a huge race car fan, loved NASCAR. I didn't like to watch it. He's like, why? I said, because it's, 20 cars on the track and it's nothing but ads just going by you, and I turned the ads off. And because I don't want to see the ads. And I made it a comment. Of course, some people didn't respond too nicely to it, but I said, it's kind of the same way that I look at religion. Freedom of religion is also freedom from religion.
Exactly.
And freedom of advertising is freedom from advertising. I pay extra for that shit. So I don't want to see any. Now, if I have to watch a baseball game, which I love watching, I suppose if you actually go to the game, you can't necessarily see their jerseys up close, but on TV, that's all you're going to see. And that's exactly why they're doing it.
That's why they're doing it.
So I don't know. I guess we'll have to see how bad it gets because, that's, to me, that's just selling out. I don't like it.
And it's not like they're going to take that extra revenue and reduce prices. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Right. It's all about amassing even more wealth.
Have you ever watched the show Billions on Showtime?
Yes. Yeah.
Love
with
that show.
With the great Paul Giamatti.
Oh my God. Paul Giamatti is amazing. But it's so weird that we're all caught up now. We finally binge watched like 70 episodes of this thing.
Oh, by the way, just to make a little connection, Paul Giamatti's father was the baseball commissioner.
There we go.
Bart Giamatti. Did you know that?
Did not know that. That's awesome. Wow.
Bart Giamatti. He was the one that actually suspended Pete Rose.
Really?
Yeah. Abe Bartlett Giamatti.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Anyway, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, that's all right.
Just a little fun fact.
I like that. Well, at least there's a connection to the segue.
Yeah. Yes.
But for the first 5 seasons, Damian Lewis was
great.
The bad guy. I love him. But he ran this Axe Capital with this, like on the fringe of legality and generally crossing over the line. But if you look at the legal side of things, the same crap was really going on that side too. What can we do? How can we force a situation or set up a situation to make him do something illegal so we can put him in jail? And so, because Axe was kind of a bad guy. I mean, he's a good guy, but a bad guy. I was more on the side of Paul Giamatti in that case. And now that the new guy, this Mike Prince, he really wants to stay ethical. Like he says, I'm not a Sam Axe or a Sam Axe. I mean, an Axelrod. So he's doing things, as nicely as he can. Yeah, he's an oligarch. He's worth billions of dollars. He wants to help the city of New York. But Paul Giamatti is now, it's not necessarily that he's a bad guy. It's just I'm going after the billionaire class because there is so much ridiculous amount of greed, and that money literally makes people do anything. It makes people, switch loyalties. It makes people switch jobs. It makes people lie and cheat and steal. And I think he just wants, all that to be done. So for me as a viewer of this show, it's been kind of interesting to sit back and because typically when you watch a TV show, you take sides of characters,
right?
And then you sit back and kind of wonder, why did I do that? Like he represents nothing I represent, or he represents a lot of what I represent. But it's going back to that billionaire stuff where, these folks are just, doing whatever it is they want with pretty much little to no oversight. But the one thing that was said in there is that, like when it comes to a trade, at least the basic or the quick thing is, you can make this trade as long as the information regarding the trade was public knowledge. But before it became public, if you take action, and seriously, Martha Stewart is the only convicted felon who has sat in jail because of information like that I've seen, really. I mean, yeah, you get your Bernie Madoffs, but that's a whole different thing. But so if you know the information ahead of time, then it's illegal. And then you've got your lawyers and everything saying, all right, well, they knew it a little bit early, so that's insider trading. But if we could just force this little meeting to get this. So it's essentially happening on the legal side of things too. It's like, where did you find out about it? Oh, you found out about it before it was public knowledge. Well, isn't that kind of like insider trading? I don't know, but it makes you think that the legal side, at least the way that they're portraying it, is just as corrupt as the other side is, if not even more corrupt. So which is kind of going back to, I'm really kind of having a hard time with like governments and rules, because literally, if you take a look at what the SEC is, it's just an arbitrary set of rules,
right,
to make certain people rich and certain people not rich. It's pretty much that simple. And so the comment was, well, why can't we buck the trend and change the rules? I mean, you guys can break the law on the legal side of things and hide under the law, but on our side, we can't do that. And so on
the baseball situation, who would you expect to blink first? So you have these billionaire owners, most of them anyway, and you got the players, a percentage of the players are millionaires themselves, right? Especially the ones that sign those big free agent contracts.
Sure.
And Major League now is the owners are putting on the pressure, right? They've announced that games are going to be canceled, and the players don't get paid for canceled games. Who do you imagine is going to blink first in this? Do you think that the players would actually go through with a threat to cancel the whole season? I
would hope they actually would, because a lot of them do have money. The problem is, unlike other industries, what else can they do?
Not much.
They can play baseball. They can be a spokesperson, but if there's no games going,
some of them will be social media influencers, but
yes. But right. I would hope that they would just say, to these owners, screw you, we're done.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden the owners are kind of like, what do you mean you're done? Well, we're just done.
Yeah.
Like forever. Well, what do you mean we're not playing for you or anybody for that matter, because you guys are greedy. And
I wish
the owners got no power at that point.
And I what really upsets me is when people make this moral equivalence between the owners and the players, right? And what I wish most people would see is, look, the Major League Baseball Players Association is a good example of what happens when you have a collective bargaining power.
Yeah.
You can actually try to get stuff for your members.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of like hating the players union, you should say, maybe we should have more unions in America.
Yeah.
Right. And B, like the Major League Baseball players, everyone in the union should come to the realization we create this wealth. That's what the baseball players seem to be saying, right? Like, okay, so this $10 billion or whatever that Major League Baseball has, whatever number we throw out, it only exists because the players are doing it. Right. And I think that's what every working American needs to realize. You as a working American are creating the wealth.
Yes.
Right. And we've been so indoctrinated over the years, right?
Yeah.
That we think it's the owner class that create these things. No, I think what the players are telling the owners, without us, you don't have a game.
Well, and that's this at a very small scale, but a large scale, if you think about it. The service industry is going through the exact same thing. They finally said to the owners, we're done. And the owners are going, well, what are we going to do? I don't know. Figure it out. You're the billionaire owner. Make your restaurant run on your own,
Exactly.
because I mean, I see, I got to be careful. There's one particular organization that's close by that makes just a killing. They charge a ridiculous amount of money and they pay their people absolute peanuts.
Of course.
And so for me to get into a discussion with them about, doing events or productions or whatever, I actually kind of have to go and say, okay, you're $1,800 a night for a hotel room. Okay. When the light turns out, it's dark, just like a Motel 6, right? Why is your rock star staff getting $13 an hour?
Right.
Because the last time I looked, a rock star certainly didn't make $13 an hour. And every time I see somebody on LinkedIn say, we're looking for superstars, rock stars, I'm like, are you going to pay them like one? Because I've looked at your annual report and I know what your CEO makes. So he's getting rock star pay or she's getting rock star pay, but everybody else is working for minimum wage. Who is generating the wealth for your company? Not your CEO. He's just the one organizing the chaos. It's your frontline people who are busting their ass day after day to make you people rich. I think it's worth more than $13 an hour. And that's exactly what's going on with the players union right now. And I don't know why the players, like a lot of people, are upset with the union, because they're just trying to do right by their players.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, especially with something like what they call service time, right? Where, you have to be under team control for 6 years before you can become a free agent, right?
Right.
So what these teams basically try to do is get the players' most productive years at the cheapest rate they can.
Yep.
Right. And then, of course, most of them aren't going to be free agents until they're 30, 31.
Right.
Right. And because the game is so young now, right, it's like most of these guys are not going to play into their 40s.
No.
Right. So, you'll get like the phenom, like an Alex Rodriguez, that'll get like the 10-year contract,
right,
for $20 million a year. But most people are not at that level of talent. Right.
Right.
And so, I mean, there's just so many issues that the mainstream media, if people are interested in these issues, the best guy to read is with ESPN, a guy named Jeff Passan, Passan.
Okay.
He's the only guy I've seen that does some actual intelligent reporting on this and explains exactly what the issues are.
That's cool.
The mainstream TV news, it's just so difficult to watch about this baseball. We can put
a link to him in our comments.
Yeah,
below.
We should do that. Yeah, he's written some great stuff. The game, by the way, it's become more expensive for the fans, and it's also at the same time it's become more boring. So like you're paying more for less.
Yeah.
Right. I came of age in the 1970s when baseball was, I thought it was at that time a super exciting game.
Yeah.
They didn't make like 10 pitching changes each game. Right. It's seriously. And people can go to my blog, Tony Palmieri's Media Rants. I just wrote a post on 10 changes I think baseball could make to the rules that would kind of liven up the game a little bit.
If you're at the game, they're doing a lot more now with activities at the ballpark to get people excited and little interactive things. So that's good to see, but it's still not a cheap endeavor. I mean, I love going to Rockies games here, but that's you're talking $300-400 a day by the time it's all said and done.
So you want
average person.
Yeah. So you won't feel that bad about shelling out $15 for a hot dog if there's like a mascot dancing in front of you, right?
Exactly.
It's the Philly fanatic.
Oh my God. See, of all my mascots, I think I like him the best.
Oh, the Philly fanatic?
The fanatic is great.
Yeah.
He's nuts.
And totally agitates the opposing team.
Oh yeah, he is like an instigator beyond instigator. But I mean, I don't even know what the heck he is. That's such a cool
And for
thing.
anyone listening to our broadcast who is not in Wisconsin, you do need to go to a Milwaukee Brewers game for the 7th inning. What is it? The brat race?
Oh, the racing sausages.
Yes. So they've got
Yes.
like a brat and a sausage, a hot dog.
Chorizo.
Yeah. Always
Yeah.
it's in the 7th inning, right?
Yep,
And
7th inning stretch.
Yeah.
They do the race around the track. One thing I really miss about Brewer games is Bob Uecker. Seriously, Bob,
God.
the get up, get out of here. I mean, at least it's at the stadium. So if you're at the stadium, you can see it, get up, get out of here, gone.
Hey, if people want to hear one of the most hilarious speeches ever delivered, and you can find it on YouTube, Bob Uecker's speech when he got inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Oh, that's hysterical.
He had everyone like belly laughing. That man is what a gift to the state of Wisconsin.
Right? Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And just a genuinely good guy.
Yeah, absolutely. I wish I would have been able to meet him. I always wanted to be able to meet him, but
I don't think anyone has ever done like self-effacing humor as well as that guy. Right? Like the way he can just put himself down in such a hysterical way. And he's also a great broadcaster. I mean, listening to that guy call a game is
we'll put that link in the notes as well down below.
For that speech.
Because if you've never seen it, it's definitely something.
Oh my God. Oh my God. As someone who teaches rhetoric and public speaking, I mean, I've been able to call on that speech for examples of so many things.
That's awesome.
That we talk about, and he just, when you watch it, you could see he kind of like validated the experience of everyone who was there.
Right.
That when push comes to shove, this is why this is so frustrating. I mean, baseball is a kid's game, right?
Uh-huh.
You've got these adults playing a kid's game. But ultimately, and what makes it so frustrating, it's like, I look at these owners as like abusive parents, right? And again, not that these baseball kids are innocent, right? They're not all that great, but you would hope. I'm hoping that, again, like as we said, right, this is a very fluid situation. It could be resolved anytime, but I would just hope that the owners just kind of, to pardon the pun, step up to the plate.
It'd be nice.
I can't formally explain to you what the player's proposal is, but I guarantee you it's not unreasonable, and that the objection to it is based on sheer greed.
We'll see where it goes. I mean, I would love the owners to step up, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully it doesn't take too long, because I really want to watch some baseball.
Let's stay elevated.
Stay elevated, everybody. Take care.